First thing I'm going to do is talk about just how small and what these seeds actually look like. And so in front of me, I have a little pack of 100 Venus flytrap seeds. Now, they could be a little bit bigger than this, but for the most part, they're about the size of like that grass seed that you see on the crow's foot, and very small. Once I flower Venus flytrap and pollinate them, I'll show you those. But for the most part, this is what you're going to start off with. Now, they do not have to be cold stratified or anything like that if you're going to plant them right away. If you do want to hold them for a while, then there's a process for that. But for the most part, if you're going to plant them right away, they don't need to be cold stratified in any way. As far as planting goes, you want to put them right on the soil surface, and so we'll talk about that here. Now, there are a couple different things that you can use when doing this. You can use 50-50 peat and perlite, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. You could use 100% peat and it would do just fine. You want to sprinkle them right on top of the soil. Do not bury the seeds at all. And then just make sure you mist the soil if you're going to be growing them inside. Mist the soil and they will do just fine. As far as lighting goes, they're going to want the exact same lighting that they are going to get as adult plants. The only caveat being that if you are growing them outside, you want to sort of keep them out of direct sun because it can cook the seeds. Now, if you are going to grow them outside, try to protect them from the rain. Here's an example. I did not. I have more, and I was trying out an experiment. In these pots here, there's 100 seeds total. Now, I want to show you why you're going to want to protect them from the rain. See how all of these are sort of growing up against the side of the pot? That is because they were evenly distributed, but as the rain came down, it sort of splashed the seeds off of the media and then pushed them up against the pot. Now, I'm sure some of them actually went outside of the pot, and so you will lose your seeds that way. But for the most part, when you do plant them, you want to make sure the soil surface is wet. It will take about anywhere from 3 weeks to 2 months or longer for them to start to germinate. It is a very long process for Venus flytrap seeds. When they do germinate, you will see these tiny little plantlets that come out that do not look like Venus flytraps at all. These are called cotyledons, and they are a photosynthesizing leaf. It's just a way for the plant to get its nutrients, or excuse me, the seeds to get its nutrients to start producing the traps. Now, a lot of carnivorous plants produce these cotyledons at first, Sarracenia being another one of note, but they are not carnivorous at all. They are simply there to help get some energy for the plant. Now, I do have one that will show the next stage, which is this right here. There is a itty bitty tiny little trap. Now, that trap is probably the size of, oh, I don't know, a pinpoint, maybe a little bit bigger. And it will catch its own prey. It's going to be very, very, very small prey. And so at this point, you do not want to feed it at all or get any sort of fertilizer or anything like that. You will burn these seedlings up pretty fast. So it will start to produce these little tiny traps. And those traps will catch little things like fungus gnats and other things. But honestly, it really doesn't need that nitrogen at this point in stage in its life. But you see right there, it's a little grass clipping and an Osmocote pellet next to it. So you can see very easily how small they are. At this point, again, care is exactly the same. You're going to want to sit them in water. And you can go ahead and have the soil a little bit more moist than you would a regular Venus flytrap. And because I grow these in Florida, I don't need to worry about covering them because it is, during the summer, extremely humid. But if you are growing them indoors or in somewhere that's not Florida, you are going to want to provide them a humidity dome. And it's when you're first starting, you're going to want to provide them a good amount of humidity. I recommend one of those trays that has the plastic dome at about 100% humidity at first, and then you can slowly start to open it up and reduce the humidity, but you are going to want to keep it between 70 to even upwards of 80% humidity. That way it helps the seeds germinate. Now, to note, you do not want the seeds too wet. And so this soil consistency you see in front of you is perfect for what they need. If the soil is very swampy and standing water, those seeds have the potential to rot. And so you do not want that. And if the soil is too dry, the seeds will not germinate. Now, that doesn't necessarily kill off the seeds. They'll just wait until the soil is a little bit more wet. I don't know if you saw the last video. I was showing about a 6-month-old baby Venus flytrap. This one, or these right here, are probably about 2 months old, and good Lord, look how cute those things are. I mean, they are itty bitty. Those traps are probably the size of a pin head, maybe. They might be a little bigger than that, maybe a grain of sand, but I mean, how ridiculous. They're so adorable. I don't know how a plant can be adorable, but it is. Little baby Venus flytraps. So, as everything is coming to life here in spring, let us not forget about the babies that we have been growing out since last year, and they were looking great. And as you can see, even at a small size, they have a lot of variety. Here we have one that's going to be very red. Some are growing faster than others and going to be more and more robust than others and more vigorous, but pretty soon here. Now, these are probably about 8 months old. I could do things to hurry them along, but why hurry? Let's just enjoy the experience. And pretty soon here, these things will start picking up speed pretty rapidly, and they will start getting to a larger size in no time. They tend to take a long time to mature to full size, about 7 years from seed, but the longest time, I would say, is right in the beginning, and then they start hitting stride and catching bugs with these traps, and will start putting on size with a lot more rapidity. Pretty awesome. Here is an update on the little baby Venus flytraps. These are about approaching 8 months old, maybe. And some of them are different sizes. This one is probably the size of a pea for some scale. But you can start to see them starting to show their colors. Here's one that is all red. That's going to be amazing. And I just cannot wait to see how these are growing up. Definitely is a slow process, but they are definitely catching some speed now that they are going into their second season as little baby Venus flytraps.